Hey, it's Jeff. Welcome back to another video. I have a few plant chores that I have to get done by the end of the day here. The first one being repotting my golden Hawaiian pothos into a little bit of a larger pot. Some of the leaves are turning yellow. It's looking a little bit limp and I'm having to water it a little more than I normally would. So I'm thinking it's probably root bound. It needs to be upsized into something a little bit larger. Plus, I want to get a little jump start on spring with a couple of these Alocasia, bulbs, the elephant ear plants, so I'm going to be potting those up as well. And then if I have time, I have a bunch of pothos cuttings that I want to pot up in some soil as well. So it's kind of the, I guess, tasks that I have to do for the day. So let's get started. I just grabbed this larger terracotta pot. I just sprayed it off with some water. I like to kind of pre-soak these as they're quite porous. And yeah, it just helps with cleaning it off and that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm going to try and keep this pothos attached to the burlap pole. I'm just going to remove it. Oh, this is rock hard. From the pot, I can feel some roots crunching already. So, ooh, it's not going to come out of this pot easy here. Just lightly pull there. Okay. Yep, that is that is crazy. It is super root bound. Okay, so now I'm just going to size it up here. If I put it a little bit lower, okay, I'm going to have to, oh geez, I don't even know. It is rock hard. Okay, so I wish I would have maybe taken this out of the pot a little bit sooner, but I'm just going to have to try and do my best to untangle as much of these roots as I can. Holy, it is solid. That is crazy. I'm going to have to damage a lot of these roots, but the good thing is pothos, they're super resilient. They will respond back fairly quickly. Okay, this is rock solid. That's crazy. Okay, there's nothing much I can do. Just loosen them up here as best as I can. Once these roots heal, then the plant will, I guess, be rejuvenated and it'll bounce back really quick. So this is like rock. That is nuts. I can't believe that. As the plant gets larger, basically what I think I'm going to do is at some point I'm going to air layer the top portion of the plant. That way, when it kind of outgrows this smaller moss pole, or sorry, burlap pole, that I can just cut it off and then like repot it into something a little bit larger, maybe on a wood plank. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of soil in the bottom here. This is just a tropical plant mix with some orchid bark mixture. It's got some large chunky bits, perlite, charcoal, all that kind of stuff. Now I'm just going to size it up here. A lot of times when I damage so much or so many roots, I will usually give it a day before I give it any water. But this plant, it was pretty dry, so I'm going to have to give it some water now. Otherwise, I don't want it to go into too much shock. Okay, now I'm going to give it some water. I got to use my big pump spray bottle. And I'm going to soak the soil here. Okay, that's a little aggressive. I sprayed it off front and back, but look at how gorgeous these leaves are. This is such a beautiful plant. Look at this newest leaf. Okay, now moving on to the bulbs. I will be using ProMix's premium potting mix, and then I'll be potting it or planting it in these dollar store pots, which have these little covers which add extra humidity or keep the humidity in. They have a little toggle on the top here as well, so you can control the humidity in here. The reason why I'm using these, I completely understand that they will outgrow these pots. These are very large plants, and like I said, they'll be going outside. But for right now, just as a starting point, I'm going to be potting them up in these little humidity domes just to get them started. And once they start to grow, then obviously I'll put them in a much larger pot for outside in the spring once the temperatures remain a little bit more consistently warm than it currently is. So my intention for these plants, here's the first one I'm going to be doing. This is an Alocasia upright elephant ear. It is a giant plant, it says. So my intentions with this is to grow them outside in the summer and then let them die off, and then collect the bulb again in the fall time. I've never done anything like this before, so this is just a trial and error for me. So yeah, I have done a little bit of research on how to plant these. They've been in my closet for the last couple months, so you want to make sure you store them in a dark, dry area. So the bulb itself is really hard still, so it's not rotten or anything like that. The roots will come out from the bottom here, so you want to obviously plant it with this portion facing down and the pointy portion obviously facing up. I'll be growing these in containers outside. So yeah, I just wanted to know the depth that I'm planting these, and I didn't realize this was so large. Yeah, it's not going to take long to outgrow the pot, but that's okay. I don't expect it to remain in here for very long. So I'm actually going to place it almost right on the bottom and then just add soil around it, and hopefully this works out for me. Okay, I'm just going to make a little bit of room here. I want to make sure that these are well watered and they get plenty of light. I'm going to add a little bit of soil. I'm going to add a little bit of soil to the bottom, just like that. And then I'm going to add this right in there, just seeded right in the soil. And I'm going to cover it up completely with soil, and then I'm going to water it. And then cover it up with the little dome. That way it keeps in the humidity, just like that. I'm not going to pack it down too much. And I'll probably keep these, I don't know. I was going to keep them downstairs, but I think I should probably put them in higher light. Okay, so I did have a label maker, but printed off fancy labels, but I ran out of the tape, so I just added some masking tape as a label here. This bulb, this Alocasia, is a little bit smaller. Just gonna take it out. And again, this one is in my closet, same place. Ooh, it's actually already started. Okay, so I'm assuming that will be the top. Okay, I thought it was, no, that would, I have no idea now. Where's the roots? Is that a root? I think that's the top. Maybe it's a root. Okay, now I'm confused. So they said to plant the pointy part upright. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about this for a second. Okay, I don't quite know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm just looking at the bulb itself, and just by looking at these little circular patterns, that kind of leads me to believe that these were previous roots. So it may have been planted on its side like this, where it probably should have been planted maybe like this. I think this was a root at the bottom. So this, I'm going to assume, is the new growth, and these were all roots. You can see they were cut off. So I'm thinking this was the bottom. It may have been planted on the side like that. So that's how I'm going to plant it in the container like this. And this is pretty crazy. This has been sitting in my closet, complete darkness for like, I think I bought this maybe 2 months ago. So this one, I'm going to plant like that. And then I'm going to add the soil on top. I'm super excited for these plants to go outside in the summer. It's going to be a bit of a learning experience for me too, especially when fall comes and you have to dig these bulbs up and basically put them into dormancy. I just put my water bottle up here and see, it's under a lot of pressure, so I don't want to blast it, but just give it enough water so that it comes out the bottom of the drain hole. And then I'm going to put these in a bright sunny spot, probably upstairs on my, just blasting the soil. I'm going to put these upstairs on my plant table. That way it gets a lot of sunlight. It's a south-facing window, so it's a very bright location. I fixed the nozzle spray so it's not a complete jet stream of water. It's just something like that. Just soak it, and then I'll add these lids on top, like so. This is me from the future. It's about 10 days after I planted these bulbs. And look at this. Got a little sprout poking through on the, let's see which one it is. Alocasia. This one, it's starting to get a little bit of a hump in the soil, so these are popping through fairly quick. The temperature is nice outside, so once it stays above the 10 degrees at nighttime, these plants will be going outside, and hopefully by that time, well, hopefully it's above 10 degrees by night, during the night, but these will be going outside soon. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, bye. Okay, so the last thing I have to do is pot up all these individual pothos cuttings. Here's the neon pothos. Looks like I got some jades, marble queen. Here's an enjoy, and I'm even gonna stick in some Cebu blue. I don't think I have any golden pothos, but I want to make another combined multi-pothos pot of cutting. So let's take them all out and pot them up in like one single pot. Oh no. Okay, well that sucks because all these are stuck in there. Okay, I have 2. These have been in water for a long time. Oh man, come on. Okay, no way around this. Okay. Look at that. Look at those roots. Whoops, those have been in water for far too long. I've been waiting for these other ones to actually, yeah, I'm just gonna break them all up. Been waiting for the other ones to root. These were rooted at different times. But yeah, I'm just gonna separate all these. Some of them have even started to grow new leaves, new stems there. So this is how I get nice full pots of pothos, is I take a bunch of individual leaf cuttings, and probably immediately after I do this, if not today, maybe tomorrow, I'm gonna chop up another pothos plant, and that way I can make more. Okay, these are all tangled. Get rid of that container before I dump it. Spilled enough water today. And then same with these guys, just pull them out of the container. Again, these have been in there for a while too, so it's not gonna take long for these plants to outgrow this pot. Okay, stuff it there. So I'm gonna add a little bit of soil to the bottom. I'm gonna add the cuttings. Hopefully I can fit them all in there. So I'm gonna keep them kind of clumped together like this. Hopefully you can see everything. I'm just going to fit in some neon just around the edges. Probably looks like a complete disaster on camera. That's okay. I'm just basically making like a flower arrangement. So I'm just going and putting these around each other. So I'm gonna put a bunch like this. And the reason for this is it's much easier to plant them all kind of at the same time and then to individually kind of pot them up. So I'm just literally putting them in my hand like this. I'm gonna keep that one out. I'm gonna add a few of these guys in, just keeping them all at the same height. I'm gonna rotate it so you can see that's how it's looking. I think it looks fantastic. Once you pot them into the soil, then you can arrange them and fluff them up a little bit better so that they're not so clumped together, but it's just easier this way when potting them up, as I've made mistakes in the past by trying to get fancy and just sticking them in the soil individually. It doesn't work. Just, I think that's probably as many as I'm gonna be able to fit in there. This one, we'll do that one. Okay, stuff it in the pot like that, and then without getting my hand in the way, I'm gonna hold on to them, but I'm just going to dump soil around the pot. Sometimes you might even have to dump a little bit of soil like directly on top just so it gets down to the middle here as well. So just something like that and just shake it up. So they're not going anywhere, but I do see a few spots. Here's another neon, I'll just stuff it in there. I do see a few spots where it's got some roots exposed. So just pack it down And like I said, probably a million times, these pothos plants are resilient at recovering from damaged roots and that sort of thing. So, okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna take this over the shower, spray off the leaves, make sure it settles all the soil here as well. Just got a couple more spots on this side. But overall, it's looking good. I'm so surprised that growers or even plant shops don't like make and sell these multi-pothos baskets. Like, I would buy this. Like, this is absolutely gorgeous. So here's the finished product. I just sprayed it off. It had some dirt on the leaves. Plus I also soaked the soil just so that everything is seeded nice. So this is absolutely gorgeous. Like, look at this Cebu blue back here, just a nice silvery leaf, and then you got the marble queen, and then the nice color pop with the neon pothos. I think it looks absolutely stunning. If you have any comments or questions, please leave it down below in the comment section. I always appreciate the support. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye.